Acts like this very much.
Welcome to
Coffee with Toffees.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Let's do this.
Good morning and welcome back to Coffee with Toffees, the Dota 2 morning show designed for you guys to keep up to date on everything that's happening in the pro and tournament scene. My name is Toffees, as always, bringing you the action here bright and early every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can follow me at Toffees_Dota2 for updates on when shows and other cool things are happening. Remember, if you want to support the show, head over to patreon.com/Toffees and either give me kind words or give me $1 or just say hi, because letting me know that you love the show means the world to me over here and keeps me getting up to do it for you every single day. Last but not least, remember, if you want to get involved with the show and chat with us, you can do that by heading on over to Steam, and there is a chat channel that is actually called Coffee with Toffees. That's Coffee W/Toffees, and what that means is you get to join to a chat channel with me specifically, my producer, chat about news, chat about anything you want, and play games with me anytime that I'm on and available. So do that. I encourage you to do so. But that said, let's get straight to the news. I will start out by saying it is very early, guys, but Coffee with Toffees has crept forward because my son, the intrepid Toffees Jr., has changed his sleep habits, and I kind of just have to Coffee with Toffees around when he tells me it's okay. So he is asleep right now, so we're going to get a quick show in, hopefully, before he wakes up and goes cray-cray. That's it. Let's start with the news. The first piece of pro news. Now, I'm going to preface this show with a couple of things. Number one is there's not a lot of news because the summit is starting, and I'll go over the summit and kind of what to look for, where we're going with it. That's all in the tournament tournament section, tournament news portion of the show. That said, there was one major breakdown yesterday, and the big announcement that I think we all knew was coming was that it's official. Hani has left Fnatic. So Fnatic released a press release on their website that Hani's no longer with them. Now, we suspected it, we knew it was coming. Let's be honest, everybody's known Fnatic was doomed for a while in their current structure, but it's official. The only remaining member of Fnatic is Trixie. He's still listed on the website. Now, it all started, just a quick reminder of the downfall of Fnatic. Now, Fnatic, one of those teams that's been a huge success in Dota, known as one of the better looking teams in Dota, very, very popular, and has grown over the years. But Era had those health issues before TI that caused a lot of brouhaha on the forums, a lot of folks not sure what was going to happen with that, and I think Fnatic got kind of a bad rap out of that whole thing. But that was followed by its death knell, which was Big Daddy and Simba leaving to join up with Team Secret, which, as we all know, has been a great choice on their part. And that sort of just left Trixie and Hani in this kind of floating vortex of where do we go. Hani is not out. He left a statement on the website that said, "I have spent a very long and meaningful time of my Dota and Han career in Fnatic. From today onwards, I will no longer be a part of Fnatic. I will continue to play Dota 2 and hopefully find a new home soon." He also says, "Shout out to my old teammates, Era, No Tail Fly, and Trixie." Now, this doesn't mean that Fnatic is done and over with. They're not out of the Dota 2 business, because shortly after he made his comment in the same article is a comment published by Sahil Savant Diva. I think that's how you say it. He's the manager of Fnatic, and he goes on record saying, "However, we are confident that not only are we soon to find a team that shows the type of high skill level and impressive plays that you, our fans, are used to from Fnatic, but also one that we can form a strong and long-lasting relationship with. Therefore, we'd like to let all of our amazing supporters, as well as everyone interested in Dota 2, to bear with us for a little while longer and expect us to break into the scene with full force when the time is right again." So that means that they are looking for a fully constructed team to pick up the Fnatic logo and move forward. So, if you're one of my fans who's got a team and you're starting it up, maybe send some demos, hope they pick you up down the line, because they're looking for someone. They want to stay in the Dota 2 business. They just haven't been able to because of the situation with the current team. And they want to find a formed team that's not going to take individual, slow growth, if that makes sense. So that's the big news in terms of what's happened with Hani. Other pro news that is worth talking about is JD, Join Dota, has announced their Of the Year awards, the Academy Awards for Dota, if you will. So far, these are the awards that have been put out there. If you want to vote, you can head over to joindota.com, get registered, cast your votes for these guys. First category that was started up was Sportsman of the Year. So Sportsman of the Year, this is the category for the biggest baller in esports, is probably the best way to put it. Not the best way to put it, but entertaining for me. And the winners of this prize, or the winners of this nomination that you can go vote for, are Ice Cubed, or Ice Ice Ice, as you may prefer, Fear, Big Daddy Big Daddy No Tail, Loda, Black, and Owie 2000. So a lot of good ones there. Ice Ice Ice, I think we all know, is a great player. Really going to be a good hard run for this one. Fear is Old Man Fear. He's the guy who came back from the injury, who has struggled to get on a winning team and is now with one of the best in the world. So he's kind of a success story that all of us can really buy into, especially those of us who are a little bit older and have been in esports since before ergonomics. Next up is Big Daddy, the king of the trolls, right? He's the guy who loves to give a tough time in interviews, but is one hell of a player. Loda, who is one of the OGs, the guy who can sing on the side, but has been playing with Alliance for as long as we can remember, and in his own way is sort of like an Old Man Fear of the European scene. Now we've got Black, who's playing over in the Asian scene right now, and obviously Owie 2000. So all I can say is it must be nice to be Vici, right? Because keep in mind, Vici Gaming has 2 nominees in the top 6 players. According, this is Join Dota's opinion, but they're about right. I think there's not many people I'd put on here that aren't already on here, but 2 of the top 6 players for the year are on Vici Gaming, and that's pretty funny to me. So kudos to them. Personally, I don't know if I can go on record for who I'm voting for, but I do have a affinity for Fear. I know what it's like to be the oldest guy in the room and work very hard to get good at a video game that really doesn't pay very much, especially at the initiation phase. Next category up is the Best Newcomer of the Year. Nominees here are pretty interesting. We've got Chessie, Kechikimba, that's how you say it. For those of you who don't know, that guy is from Invasion Esports in the SEA scene. Matumba Man, maybe. Reason, also SEA by the way. Ush, Excalibur, and Zai. So the 2 names you probably are very unfamiliar with are Kechikimba and Reason, I think is how you say it. Both SEA, both a good signal of how the SEA scene has grown. That SEA has no representation in the Sportsman of the Year category, but a good amount of representation in the Best Newcomer. So I'm going to stay on record, as I have for a while now, and say next year we're going to see some really good things from SEA, and they're going to be competitors. Maybe not in TI5, but definitely in TI6. Others on there, notable names that I think are really interesting is Excalibur is there. He's not on a team right now. He's nominated for Newcomer of the Year without actually having a team to play on. So very interesting. Maybe he needs to get himself a team here. Zai and Ush both mentioned. It's one of those things where I think that there's a very real chance Zai just takes this home because Zai is not necessarily a newcomer. So if the voters look at it and say, well, he's been around a while, he's been playing on, he's been with PPD as long as I can remember, then maybe he won't win. But at the end of the day, he's playing on one of the best teams in the world, and he has been lights out phenomenal. If you watched any of DreamHack, you saw how awesome Zai has been. You'll probably see more of that today in the summit. That said, Ush, near dear to my heart, man. He's a guy who has fought tooth and nail to make it. Joined up with SNA, moved over to NARV where they had their own issues, and he plays a really strong carry. He just seems to have some bad luck with team transition. So my heart goes out to him. I'm glad to see him nominated here, and I hope that this is a good step forward for the rest of his career. Next one up, Team of the Year. This is a good one, okay? Because not only did they list Team of the Year, but they listed how much money each team has made, right? So here's the nominations: Evil Geniuses, Vici, Newbie, Cloud9, and Invictus. Now I'm going to go back and tell you how much each of these teams have made this year, because a lot of folks don't get to see earning reports. So Evil Geniuses has logged $1,038,416 in earnings so far this year. Vici Gaming has earned $1,475,644. Newbie has earned $5,028,121. Cloud9 has made a, well, I don't want to say paltry. It's huge in terms of like what I see in a year, but compared to some of their competitors, only $656,842, and a lot of that can be attributed to the unfortunate situation where they get a lot of second place finishes. Invictus, $880,882. So lots of money on the table for these big teams. Team of the year is going to be an interesting one to see. Newbie took TI, so that's a huge shoo-in for them. Evil Geniuses, though, has just been fairly unstoppable. Interestingly enough, there is one name that is not on this list that I found very interesting, and that name that is not listed here is Team Secret. And I'm a little bit surprised that they were left off. I don't know if it's because they're a newer team, so maybe JD feels that they haven't quite got their feet under them yet or gotten that place to be. But at the end of the day, I'm really surprised the Team Secret's not on that list somewhere, because they have proven time and time again, I think that they're going to prove this week in the Summit, that they are phenomenal players and are just going to continue to play out of their minds, because that's what they've been doing since they formed up. All right, so the last one, and this is an interesting one. I am not overly qualified to talk about it. I've been trying to get a set designer to come on the show to sit down with me forever, and so far, most of the big set designers I've talked to are very quiet or not into interview type of people. So if you have a favorite, send them a message. Tell them, hey, Toffees wants to talk to you about what it's like to be a set designer. But that's the next category, Best Workshop Artist Set. And there are a ton of people listed here. If you are reading this on the 2P site, if you're looking at this later, I will have a link up so you can go straight to the page. A lot of names here, and it's really best to look at the pictures. But long story short, the nominees are Anuxi, Don, a whole posse of people who made the bindings of Deep Magma for Earthshaker, Danadem, gentleman named Kunkka, and Auto Medic, which is the that Juggernaut Blade Keeper set, the Kunkka again, and Horse Strangler for the Divine Anchor. Then we've got Rabies and Hunter, Motonai, Pyre, and Evil Geniuses, who sponsored the set for Naga Siren, Reminiscence of Dreams for Puck, which was a huge group who put that one together, and Yee's Crystalline Comet for Crystal Maiden. So literally almost impossible to explain that. We're not going to go too far into it. Definitely go over to the website, check that out. I think Anuxi wins my vote because that Dazzle set is awesome. I've never been able to get my hands on one. I don't have a lot of money, so expensive, but super, super cool. So that's my vote. Go there and support that. And maybe if she wins, she'll come on the show and finally give me that interview I've been trying to get forever. All right, so those are the joint Dota nominations as they stand. Now, that's it for pro news. Let's move through into tournament news, and this is including basically only two tournaments to give you catch-ups on. We do have some Dota Pit information for you, but we went over that Monday. So if you want to know where Dota Pit stands right now, you can go to the Monday show. We had a wrap-up, and we'll be back on Friday for the tournament roundup. We'll give you some Dota Pits again once more. All right, so Esportal Dota 2 League. Now, can we talk for a second about how formats have gone crazy in the world of Dota? Like in the old days, it was like play two best of threes, and one team gets eliminated and one team advances, and it's all in one tournament. Now it's like qualifiers and studio rounds, and I don't know, man. It's just crazy what we're doing now. But Esportal has a new format, and their format is ultimately there will be a LAN final. The LAN final will play for a little over 100,000 euros. Before that, however, there will be 3 open tournaments and 3 invitational tournaments to determine who gets to go to the LAN final. So, the open tournament, the first one just finished up. 256 teams signed up for the Open. Holy cow. Only one gets to punch their ticket to compete at the Esports LAN final, and that team is going to be the Hellraisers. They edged out Vega Squadron by an eensy-beensy bit, and they'll be joining the winner of the 3 invitational rounds and the 2 remaining open rounds for a shot at the big money. Now, the first invitational round will start December 10th and includes Cloud9, Team Tinker, Virtus Pro, Alliance, Team Empire, Secret Team, Virtus Pro Polar, and Power Rangers. And they have a little bit of a bigger prize pool, $15,000 for the winner of the mini tournament. And then they get a full pay trip and a spot at the LAN final to play for the big money. So what the cool thing you're going to see here is you're going to see 3 teams that they're probably not going to be unknown. We've heard of Hellraisers. We see them around a lot. But at the end of the day, they don't get invited to some of the same tournaments that these big Tier 1 teams do. So Hellraisers gets a chance to cut their teeth against these big, bad voodoo daddies from the invited groups. Now, we don't know who's going to go of those. It's going to be the top 3 from those, or top 1 from each of those 3 qualifiers, then the 3 amateur teams, and that'll be a pretty interesting final. So we'll stay with that tournament over the next couple of months and keep you updated on sort of how it's tracking. So that's eSport. If you want more information, then you can go to esportal.com, and it sort of explains most of it in there, but definitely an interesting tournament to keep your eye on throughout the remainder of this season. Next one up, this is the big news. This is what everybody's talking about, man. The Summit 2, it starts today, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We are kicking this bad boy off, and it is going to be quite a lot of fun. So let's see, I'll pull up the schedule as well for you guys to take a look at. So the first game is going to be Secret Evil Geniuses. We'll go over the list in just a second. The prize pool is almost $300,000. When I checked when I was writing up the show, it was $300 short of hitting the $300,000 mark. So actually, I'm sorry, it was $600 last night. I think it was almost $300 this morning. We'll find out. So they're going to hit that. It's a no-brainer for me that they get that big. $300,000 for a tournament is massive. The teams playing and who are going to be there, if you don't already know, and I assume you do, but I'll say it again, is VG Gaming, Evil Geniuses, Secret Team, Cloud9, Team Tinker, and Not Today, a veritable who's who in the Dota scene. And look for a fun stand-in in the form of Loda, as he'll be coming over to do some standing in, and that'll be entertaining. I think it's with Team Tinker. Now, the game schedule for today. Today's a big one. This is a barn burner. There's 9 games today from what I understand. Starting at 1 o'clock and running until they're done. Everyone plays each other, man. It is going to be crazy. So the first game we're going to see starting out is going to be Tinker versus Secret, and then Tinker versus VG. Cloud9 versus Not Today, and Cloud9 versus EG versus Tinker, Secret Team versus Not Today, and everybody's playing each other, so keep that in mind. Then VG Cloud9, VG Secret, Secret Cloud9, Cloud9 Team Tinker, Tinker Not Today Evil Geniuses VG. And now there's a trend you're going to notice here, is everyone's playing a back-to-back game, and the reason for this is if you stop by the interview with Zyori, we talked about Summit 1 and how it was a bit draggy and boring at times. And what he said is they fixed that. They created a third room for gaming. And what they're going to do is they're going to have the 2 teams that are playing. Meanwhile, the next team on the docket is going to be in the third room setting up to play. So by the time that first game ends, so for instance, in the first game today, we're going to see that Evil Geniuses versus Secret Team. Team Tinker will enter the third room and prep during that game. So as soon as game 1 ends, Secret setup is already in place. Tinker will have had an hour to work on theirs, and the next game can start right away. Meanwhile, Evil Geniuses room will cycle out and prepare for VG Gaming. So this is how they're scheduling their games about an hour and a half apart, which means rapid fire gaming. And this is how they're going to accomplish that. So great shout out to them for making a change and really making it work. Now, I think that a lot of folks, when you look at the list for the Summit, underdogs are going to be Not Today in a lot of people's minds. But, as they're talking about in Twitch chat right now, they're unorthodox. They tend to get a little bit squirrely, a little bit crazy. So I think that they have a chance to get some upsets, to make some big plays. Now, let's talk about the format for this tournament. It's an interesting format. Excuse me. It opens up with a group stage. All 6 teams will play each other once in a very busy schedule. Like we said, 9 scheduled for the first day. the top 2 teams will go directly into the semifinals. So whoever wins the round robin, and I believe it's a best of 1, it is a best of 1, those top 2 go straight to the semifinals. Boom. You are in the big money. You are top 4 for winning the big cash. The next round is for the remaining teams, and it's going to be a single elimination best of 5 series to determine who advances to the remaining 2 semifinal spots. So there's going to be a lot of Dota. I like the new best of 5 format. It means you just have to do one. You got to win or move on. And that's going to be a pretty good one. So check that out, guys. It's going to be our favorite tournament. If you want to watch it, if you want to listen because you're at work, because there's so many games today, Dota FM, you can find it at Mixlr, mixlr.com/Dota FM, or you get an app on your iPhone or your Android. It's Mixlr is the app. You just search Dota FM. We are going to be covering every game starting at 1 o'clock through the evening. So you may not be able to get the late evening games, but while you're at work or traveling, we will have you covered on the audio-only sportscast. So you can stay updated without having to worry about having a stream open at work or bandwidth on your phone or whatever it is. So make sure you check that out. The other big piece of news, guys, has nothing to do with tournaments yet anyway, and that is that Steam has announced that it is integrating a streaming platform into what it does. So it's going to have, I mean, essentially what this is it's like Dota TV, but for every game out there. So you can watch your friends play whenever you want. I'm going to put a link to an article that was written by Sun Tzu over on Dota 2P that explains very well what the Steam integration is and what it's going to look like. I will make sure that's linked in the summary. By the way, guys, if you ever want a summary of these of the show or links that you need or have missed, I'm publishing the show notes at 2p.com, the Dota site, where I talk about, that way you can always know what's happened in the show and kind of get to where you need to or see links or backups or whatever. So that's what we're doing, our archiving. You can always check it out there. That said, he explains it better than I do. It's a very concise, clean article that talks about the integration of Steam and streaming and what it may look like in the future. As of now, it's really nothing. I think a lot of people are freaking out about it over on Reddit. It's nothing different. It's just a way to watch your friends play a game and help them out. This isn't a replacement for Twitch yet. Now, I could see maybe something down the line, but at this point, it doesn't seem that way to me. So that's it. That's our news for today, guys. That's all the stuff that you need to know. Like I said, it's quiet. People are traveling, going to big tournaments. It's a big week for Dota, but not until today. So Friday should be a pretty good show as we'll do our summit wrap-up for you as well as our tournament roundup. I'm working on getting some new guests on for you guys to enjoy. If you like the show, remember, follow me at Toffees_Dota2. If you want to hear about Dota FM's scheduling, you can follow at the Dota FM. If you want to support this show or Dota FM, you can go to patreon.com/Toffees. We're releasing our t-shirts and our mugs at the end of the month, so we're ordering the samples. I'll show those to you as soon as they come in. And guys, it's been great having you here. So we're going to cut the show. We'll play some music over on Dota FM and get this edited and uploaded. And I'll hang out in Twitch chat for just a little while to chat with you. So thanks for stopping by. Have a wonderful day. And as always, guys, Toffees out.